Hi Belfast. So this is our first task for week 2. So make sure if you have any questions that you bring them to our meetup time. Okay, so this video is basically to just show you how you would approach these what are called area maze puzzles. So let's get into the first question. On the Google Slides, you will see something like this. So you'll see your puzzle, and then there's these question marks. And for the first few, I've sort of given you hints as to which sides you need to find. But as you get further on in the questions, those question marks will then appear, I'll show you, they will appear off to the side like this. And you will have to drag those text boxes. So just drag them with your mouse to the right location that you want to type in. Okay, so let's get started. Now, this will be somewhat familiar to some students in my class because on the very last day, right before school got canceled, we had some students had done these. So you'll have a bit of an advantage. All right. So these are called area maze puzzles. So keep in mind when you're doing these questions that area is your length times your width is equal to the area. So basically for this first one, I can see where my question marks are. Okay. These question marks, because I have two of them, both on the length and the width, I know I can't do that one first because I have all question marks. I don't have any hints. Here, I'm given one thing, one of the sides, so I can find the other side. Okay, so I can go, let's see, 6 times what gives me 30. Okay, now let's just pretend, that one's not too bad, but let's just pretend we didn't remember what it was. Okay, then what you can do is I uploaded the fractal multiplication to into Google Classroom, so you can, if you want, use that to help you. Okay, so I can go 6, so I have my 6 strip, and I can go 6 times what gives me 30. And if I look here, I can go, okay, so 5 groups of 6 gives me 30, right? So now I know that that other side, so 6 times 5 gives me 30. So I know that other side has to be 5. Okay, so I would go ahead and type that into my Google slide. And now I have 5 plus something equals something. Well, once again, that's not enough information. So I'm going to go to a different question mark or a different rectangle and see if I have enough information there. So this one I can see I have one of the sides and I have the area. So that's 2 pieces of information. So that should be enough to find the third. Okay, so then I'm saying 6 times something gives me 42. So I'm going to once again, if I don't know what that is, I'm going to once again look at my fractal multiplication. I'm going to go to the 6 strip, and I'm going to go 6 times what gives me 42. Well, if I look at that image, the red arrow is a 7. Okay, so then I go, so I know that 6 times 7 gives me 42. And if that's 7, then that line here is also the same length, so that would also be 7. Okay, so now I have 2 sides and one area that I don't know, which is ultimately the one that I'm looking for. Okay, so, and the one that you're looking for should be a bigger, so in the Google Slides, it should be a bigger question mark and a different color. So that's the key one that you're looking for. All right, so I know 7 times 5, so I'm going to use my 5 strip, or I could count by 5s. Okay, and I go 7 groups, or 5 groups of 7 gives me 35. So I know that this has to be 35. Okay, so I've solved this puzzle. All right, so let's take a look at another example. Okay, so this one here, I'm going to go through this quickly. Okay, so this one, if I look at it, I have this big rectangle in which I know 2 of the sides, so that's good. But this guy, I don't actually know the length of this, but I do know the length of that. So I'm going to just write that in because I want to make sure that I'm clear on what that side is. But I don't have this side and I don't have the area. So, I'm going to see, the only piece of information I haven't used yet is this 8. So, and I know this is 5. So if this is 5 and the area is 24, 5 times what gives me 24? That is a good question. Oh, you know what? I don't know, because that would be like a decimal, because that doesn't divide evenly. But what I do know, so I can't use that piece of information. But what I do know is that 8 times 5, so the area of this whole big one is 40. So that's the area of the whole rectangle. So if the area of the whole rectangle is 40, then, and I know this part is 24, I can go ahead and subtract 24 from 40. Okay, and so that's going to be, I like to add up when I subtract, so that's going to be, I'd have to add 6 to 24 to get me to 30, and then another, so that's going to be 16. Okay, so 40 minus 24 is 16. So I know that the area for this is 16, and that was the only thing that I needed to find. So that has allowed me to solve this solution. So I don't actually need any of the other sides. I just needed to figure out what the total area was, subtract 24 from it, and get 16. Okay, so that one's a little bit different. So I wanted to make sure you saw that. So great. Once again, if you have any questions, let us know in the Google Classroom. All right, bye for now.